Well, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great start to your week. If not, hopefully we can give you a little joy and positivity and inspiration to change the trajectory of how that day was going to go. So we have a great show on tap for you today. We're going to recap things that happened from the past weekend, a recap of the Olympics, and I'm going to bring on Mikyla from Make That Magic. If you haven't had a chance to see our Medals and Mayhem, we're doing it in the morning because after all, the Olympics are now done. And I know it's sad for some. It's like it was appointment viewing for you for the last, 17, 18 days. And now the torch has been handed on. Where will 2030 be? We'll talk about all of that. And then, of course, the whole world talking about Mr. Jack Hughes. We'll talk about that actually in the news and in our recap of Medals and Mayhem. We're going to kick things off, though, with weather. Now, our weather here is nowhere near, although I know you feel like it's cold, it is nowhere near what the East Coast is seeing. So we're going to talk about all that with our dear friend and our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, in a segment we call What the Weather.
Good morning from St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, our What the Weather segment with our dear friend. Hello, Beckett Moore. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I said it's a little cold out there, but nowhere near what the East Coast is seeing. How much are they expecting to get snow-wise?
Yeah, so we're seeing that snowstorm right now across the Northeast, really 1 to 3 feet from Delaware all the way to Massachusetts. And I just checked in New York, and right now Central Park has 15 inches and Newark has 18 inches, and it's not even over there yet.
Oh my gosh, this is just crazy. I know a lot of people here, at least, were like, oh, the snow's done. We're not getting anything. Well, obviously, we have to keep reminding you it is still winter for another month at least. So are they going to be in just this stretch of snow and then cold weather that snow is going to stick around for a while?
Well, fortunately for them, it actually is going to warm up, and there's possibly a rain chance by the end of the week. So hopefully they'll get some melting of this, but still it's going to take a lot of warm temperatures, a lot of sunshine to melt all this snow.
Absolutely. And by the way, folks that are new to the show, welcome aboard. Our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. You can find him at Moore Weather Official, and normally was active on YouTube and X as well. He has done a lot of chasing snowstorms. You are a big fan of the snow, so would you want to be there right now?
Yes, I think so. And I just saw a video, Jim Cantori, he was in the exact same spot from that famous video, and he got thunder snow again this morning.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How did he react?
He was really pumped.
All right. Well, we're not expecting any of that. And for those of you that don't know, we are in St. Louis, Missouri. So we take care of the weather here over into Southern Illinois, but also always want to be aware of what's going on throughout the country. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and what it's doing to affect flights. If you are flying in or out of an area that's in the East Coast, be sure to check in with your carrier. All right. So for our area, Beckett, what are we expecting?
Yeah, so it's a very chilly morning this morning. Unfortunately, we are going to warm up throughout the week. But right now, 16 degrees. Those 15-mile-per-hour winds right now from the north are making it to feel like 1 degree. So it is very cold out there with that dew point, very dry as well at 4 degrees. Those winds will slowly and gradually taper off as we head throughout the day. And our sunset tonight by 5:48, winds again will be less strong than they are right now. Now this afternoon, 32 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Again, a very chilly day, not expecting to really get above freezing. 23 is our low tonight. Again, as we head into tomorrow, warming up to 55 degrees for our high, mostly cloudy skies by Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. Thursday, 49 is our high. We do have a chance of rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Then Friday, Saturday, back into the 60s, but by Sunday, cooling down a bit, 48, mostly cloudy skies.
Well, I tell you what, it was freezing cold in Napa Valley. I told you, you guys had gorgeous weather when we left, and we got there and we're up on, beautiful views atop one of the highest parts of Napa and just bundled up in so many layers. It was cold for sure.
I bet, yeah.
But it's nice to see that we're going to have a nice weekend. So some warmer weather coming back for us. All right, my friend, we'll have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
You too.
Okay, that's Beckett Moore, folks. And again, always taking care of the weather for us. Yeah, as we were talking about, it's crazy the blizzard warnings that are cascading across the East Coast as their winter storm is hitting. So this is dangerous. We're going to talk about a cold blue for our area. We're not getting snow, but we are going to have those frigid temperatures. So cold blue, what I mean by that is for shelters in our area. And it has been activated and will go through at least Tuesday. And then, of course, the weather warming up in our area. But always, you can dial 211 for more information on what is available for shelters, and obviously always helping out and being weather aware. So New York City, New Jersey, they have travel bans. Airlines canceled thousands of flights. Even Broadway shows were canceled last night as this fierce winter storm bore down on the northeastern U.S., prompting blizzard warnings from, again, Maryland to Massachusetts. And as Beckett said, 2 to 3 feet. Unbelievable. So be careful. And as I've been saying, you always don't want to call the airport. If you have a flight that was expected into any of those areas, always check with your carrier. Besides the cancellations and the delays from the weather, there were long lines, super long lines at Lambert Airport. And that was from the TSA aspect, TSA pre-check suspension. So you may have been caught in that. Now, the TSA is saying that the pre-check is still operational after the previous announcement of the suspension during the funding fight and the talk of the government shutdown. That is why you saw that. But it was quickly thereafter that they did get things back rolling. But if you were at Lambert Airport or many other airports across the country, you probably dealt with that thinking you were going to go right through, like, the TSA pre-check, the clear. No, that was not the case at all. But now it looks like things are smoother. However, if you do have a flight today, you may want to get there a little earlier just to be on the safe side. All right, that's what a lot of the nation is talking about. And then they're talking about him. Jack Hughes losing his teeth, first of all, from a high stick to the mouth before his Olympic gold winning goal. And, I watched the entire game. My husband didn't get a chance to see the third period until later in the day, but he came in at one point and he's like, "Oh, yes, I love it. This is old school hockey, no teeth." And I was like, hey, yeah, you completely missed it. So I think the thing that's fascinating, did you hear the coach, by the way, because they were showing different views and then they were also using audio. The coach literally said he's going to score for us. And sure enough, he scores the golden goal. Jack Hughes, the gold medal goal immortalized on a Tops Now card. So for those that want to forever have that picture, and if you are a card collector, well, yeah, I love that Tops Now has done this. So you can get a Tops Now card with that picture of him with his teeth missing, which I just absolutely love. We'll talk about the men's game against Canada coming up in our Medals and Mayhem in just a second. By the way, St. Louis City SC opened up the season. Hopefully you had a chance to go. They kicked off the season with a 1-1 draw against Charlotte FC at home. I'm hoping this is a better season because we had a lot of draws last year. The Blues finally back now that the Olympics are over. They're in town against the Kraken. Game time on Thursday will be at 7:30. And what's happening in our National Day of Calendar? Grab those Tootsie Rolls. Oh, do the Tootsie Roll dance, by the way. Let me see your Tootsie Roll. National Tootsie Roll Day. It is National Tile Day. And go get the doggies and throw them a biscuit. National Dog Biscuit Day. And make some banana bread. And then you'll be all set for the day of calendar. All right. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is all things Olympic. Let me say hi to you all real quick. Good morning across the board. It's to everyone. Latanya and Kristen. Loved his interview. I know, me too. Dorothy and Karen, good morning. Kathleen and Stephanie. Rose said I have a Napa Valley glow. I think it's all the wine that I drink. It's extra moisturizer. Julie and Liz, happy cold Monday. Yes, but again, we're not dealing with the crazy weather that they are in the Northeast. So send thoughts and prayers out to all of them and check in on family, by the way, that you may have in that area. All right, so a quick break. And then when we come back, it is time for Medals and Mayhem with my friend Mikyla Tuggle. Don't go anywhere.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the in spa.
I got it. That's okay. And brought to you, of course, by our friends at Spas and More. Thank you so much to Angie Hess and to Jenny Gabriel. So Angie Hess is with Spas and More, and they are our presenting sponsor, and they have been through the last few weeks. We also have Jenny Gabriel with JG Optimal Wellness, and Jenny is the nutritional therapy practitioner. Please, when it comes time to you really wanting to get your health in order, Jenny is the person that you want to lean on. Jenny at jgoptimalwellness.com, and you can check her out online at JG Optimal Wellness, and she has been the contributing sponsor. All right, let me welcome my dear friend on, Mikyla Tuggle with Make That Magic. So follow her on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. She will crack you up. She will educate you. And if you're a fan of the Twilight Zone, that is what she's really known for. So how have you been, my friend? It's been a handful of days.
I have been wonderful, but I want to know who you think you are this morning singing Tootsie Roll. I literally screamed backstage, y'all. This is the real Monica Adams to my crew. If you guys are following this morning, again, she is a 30-year television veteran. Please make sure you follow her on all 7 platforms that she's on. And the Tootsie Roll comment is actually going to go in the reel that I'm going to recap this, because that's actually amazing.
Look, I remember dancing to that song, by the way, when I used to go clubbing. And so that's where it came from.
I love this. Well, good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning to you as well. And to all of you. Again, we love having new people on both of our platforms. Yes. So if you have missed any of our coverage, please go back and check out our YouTube pages, because we've had a blast for sure. All right. What did you think of the closing ceremonies? Because you told me this is the first time you were ever watching the closing ceremonies, right?
Yes. This is the first time I ever watched the closing ceremonies. And in the past, I have been wearing my Olympics gear. You know, I've been wearing my red, white, and blue. I put on my Beyonce Cowboy Carter shirt today because what I watched yesterday was actually just a concert.
Yes. And look, Mikyla and I both said this. I had it recorded because I went to pick up my mom, and mom's staying with us for a couple weeks. So I was like, well, I got to go and get her, and I'll come back and watch. And so I looked at my recording and I went, 4 hours? What?
Hours.
Okay. But it wasn't. It was done. But it was so anticlimactic because it just ended. And then Mike Rico came on to recap the best of Milan. And I'm like, I'm so confused. Is this over or not over?
Yeah, it so that's what I think, that they merged the broadcast so that people who were maybe joining towards the end could see just a full recap, because in the full recap they included some of the closing ceremony scenes.
Yes.
And so but I was just like, we didn't even need it to be 2 hours.
No, absolutely not. They, okay, we'll get into all of that. We want to hear from all of you. What did you think? You can do a handful of things here. What did you think of the closing ceremonies? What were the standout moments for you? And honestly, what was your number one favorite from the Olympics just as a whole? Like, what stood out to you, whether it was devastating or it was exhilarating? So we can get into that as well.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Before we get into the closing ceremonies, did you watch the U.S. men's hockey game against Canada?
I was at a baby shower, so
you missed it.
I was not able to see it, but I saw so many highlights, including one that I feel very validated and vindicated on. A young man got his tooth knocked out. And I told you, Monica, I said, when we were figure skating, what is the first thing we did? We do laps to look for teeth.
Yes. She was the Zamboni of cleaning up the teeth.
Literally. After the Zamboni, we went to just make sure we did quality assurance.
Well, Mikyla, that was a regular thing in old school hockey. Like I have so many friends that I told you played for the St. Louis Blues, and none of them had teeth, or they all had, after they, are alumni now, they now have all their teeth fixed.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, first of all, when I saw the play and I saw the high stick, I'm like, Oh, he definitely lost tooth and they drew blood.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden his smile. And I'm like, oh, this is so old school. He has the best energy. I am so happy for Jack. Look at Jack Hughes. He does not care that he lost a handful of teeth.
Not at all. I love that.
Did you, by the way, I don't know if since you didn't get a chance to see it, did you hear me say that the coach called it? He literally said he's going to score for us.
Yep. That was in one of the highlights that I saw as well, that the coach was kind of like, he's going to do it. And I said, you know what? Shout out to you for manifesting that for him.
Right?
He
Absolutely.
just said it. And it literally happened.
So the Hughes brothers and the Kachuk brothers, I mean, I think it's just so cool, period, for these parents. They have not one, but they have two sons in the Olympics, and they get to do it together and celebrate like that together.
Yes.
Right? I got chills.
It must be just so, it's probably one of those moments where you're like, wow, all of that was for this.
Absolutely.
Like, all the things that you went through was for that. I'm very proud of them.
Now, I don't remember if we had talked about it prior in our Medals and Mayhem coverage or if this was something that I was talking about off air, but Jim and I had just watched the Miracle on Ice the night before because I was talking, I'm like, can you imagine? I said, Jim, how long has it been? And I'm like, it's not since 1980 that the U.S. had won gold. And now here it is against Canada, which I thought was unbelievable because it was the women against Canada also.
The women also.
Oh, come on, gold and gold for us. But
yeah.
So we had just watched the movie, and if you've never watched Miracle on Ice, it's the best speech ever by a coach. It will give you chills. It'll make you cry.
Aww.
So we had just watched that, and then all of a sudden turn around, and here it is. The next morning, and here's what I thought was funny, Mikyla. So many people heading to bars and restaurants, just like they do when we have big St. Pat's celebrations here, and everybody's starting at like 7 or 8 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
They're drinking beer at 7 o'clock in the morning, watching the game. And that was the case yesterday. Long lines outside of here in St. Louis, O.B. Clark's, which is typically known as a blues bar, so a big hockey bar, I should say.
Okay.
Long lines for people to get in to watch that.
It's like that one clip that someone captured of the bar showing the final scenes of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And people literally losing their minds.
Yeah.
You only get one of those a decade.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm really happy that it was to see not only the men win gold, but also the women won gold. I mean, and again, curling and hockey are the two sports that people don't necessarily think of as like the winning team. Like, no, they swept, medals across the board. So very happy for them.
Absolutely. So if you didn't see it, it went into sudden death overtime. And again, USA beating Canada. As you can see there, the scored 2-1 in overtime, which was just remarkable. Now, besides the elation and then jumping in the air, and I think the best for me was when Jack scored the goal and then tossed his stick and tossed his gloves and tossed his helmet in the air. They were everywhere all over the ice. I was like, he's going to jump on the boards. I'm again so happy.
So good.
But my favorite thing was how they honored Gaudreau. So for those of you that know, back in August of 2024, the Gaudreau brothers were killed. They were cycling, killed by a drunk driver, but they had the jersey afterwards skating, and it made me cry. And the Gaudreau family was there. Then they came out to take the picture, Mikyla, and they went and got the Gaudreau children and put them in the picture with them.
Oh my God, I would have been a mess.
Yeah, I have chills right now. I crazy chills and crying. All of you, what did you think of that? To me, that was just the epitome of class.
Yeah.
And when Jack was interviewed, the very first thing, and it's the same thing in the movie A Miracle on Ice. Okay, tell us your name, who'd you play for, right? And they're all going through and talking about the colleges that they played for until they finally get it. No, you're playing for your country. And Jack saying the brotherhood of hockey 1 and 2, how proud he was and how proud they are to be doing this for their country and for the USA.
Yeah.
Was everything.
Yeah.
What a great way to wrap up the Olympics.
So nice. I loved it. Everybody looked like they had an amazing time. And then they got to the closing ceremony.
And that is where we're going to go next. All right. First of all, let's welcome all of you one more time. Mikyla Tuggle, Make That Magic. We have had a blast over the last few weeks with our Medals and Mayhem. Hope you have as well. And we've actually we'll ask you again, what would you like to see the two of us do moving forward now that the Olympics are officially over? So we will toss this out to all of you. What was your favorite aspect of the closing ceremonies? What did you hate? And also, just from the aspect of the Olympics as a whole, you can let us know that as well. All right, let's see. The ladies and men's hockey games were both nail biters. Great hockey.
Yeah.
The closing ceremony was boring. Linda said I turned it off. Christy, the closing ceremony was way too long. I was thinking of you, Mikyla, when I saw his missing teeth. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, didn't watch the closing. Watch men's hockey. It was amazing. Yes, Rose. I loved watching the USA hockey players all receiving their gold medals. They looked them over after they put them. I know it was so cool to watch them look at the gold medal. Oh, and we'll talk about the little mascot they got in just a second. The hockey was the best. Devastating of Lindsey Vonn. Yes, I think across the board, we're either going to talk about Lindsey Vonn or what would be yours that would be devastating? Because for me, it is Lindsey. What would you say?
I think Lindsey is the saddest story to me.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the fact, I don't know that, I think she may still be in Italy because
she is.
Yeah, that's why I thought. I keep trying to check in on her Instagram, and she said soon she will talk about the trauma of the surgery and the injury, because after it's all said and done, it's at least 5 surgeries that she will have to have. It's
a lot.
Yeah. Stephanie, long time coming for the men's team. Yes. When they got the children and put them in the picture, that was the best. Such a tear.
That's beautiful.
Great tribute. The best part of the closing ceremony was when it was over, Christy says. Rose said, I didn't care for curling. No hate mail. You didn't?
Rose.
What? Why?
Because curling is literally the miscongeniality of the Olympics now.
I loved it. And I actually want to go. Well, Mikyla and I both said that we want to be.
We in that thing.
We're so doing it.
We are in there. I'm going to claim it right now like the hockey coach did.
Manifestation.
Exactly.
Rose, all right, you got to tell us what happened. Why do you not like it?
Yeah, Rose, now we're putting you out there.
Candy, the game was amazing, and I love that they brought the children out for the pictures, cried for the family. Okay, Before we go into the next part of the closing ceremony, after they got their medals, they then were handed the little mascots, and a lot of people were saying, what is that? That's Tina, by the way. That is Tina the mascot. But the picture on the left is my favorite because this went viral when the Canadian women's team, after they first of all lost to the US, they then were handed this, and they went viral because of their reaction.
They were like, what is this?
What is this? Please take it back. I'm surprised one of them didn't drop it on the ice because
literally they were like, girl, we wanted the gold medal. We got silver and y'all give us this.
But so somebody wrote me last night and said, what for the U.S. men's team? They were like, what were they getting? And I go, oh, that's the mascot. They all were getting that.
They all got it.
And they're like, they seemed unimpressed. I'm like, well, whatever. They just got their medals. And now they're like, what do I do? I'm hoping that there's some kids in their family and they will give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. They're hard to come by the way.
Kids. Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get them. Now they want one for their kids and they can't get
that and the pasta and the pierogi.
The pierogies.
Like it's those 3 that everybody's trying to get. I am 100% trying to get the Olympics pasta for the Paralympics. 100%.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. You and I need to have some wine and eat that pasta.
Yes. Immediately.
Okay. We're putting, let's see. My husband thought it was Olaf.
You know what? Your husband is actually a fool because why would he look at that and be like, Disney partnered with the Olympics?
And look, she's just saying, let it go right there. That's what she's
screaming. That's so funny.
All right. Joe says hockey, both men and women's gold and curling was contagious.
Yeah.
All right. Look at Rose is apprehensive to say why she hated it. Rose, come on, girl. I know you are always interactive. Tell us why you didn't like it. Period. Just tell us why you didn't like it. All right.
Exactly.
So where do we even begin with this?
Okay. So maybe, it's just because I was in the concert industry for 8 years and the entertainment industry for 11. Maybe it felt like I was bored because I felt like it was something that I was working in. It felt more like this is a show that I should be attending.
Yeah.
Than something that I should be watching. Now, I want to call out a couple of things with the beginning of the opening ceremony because they were doing very well in the beginning.
I agree.
Starting the closing ceremony. They did very well in the beginning. The beginning had this feel of like, okay, we are starting a concert. We're starting an orchestra. There's an orchestra here. There's an opera. There's a stage manager in the back trying to get everybody together. I loved the way that they started it because I said, oh, I love this. We're finally leaning into our heritage. That was one of the things that I talked about in the opening ceremony that I felt France did better.
Yes.
So I said, oh, I love this. It seems like all of the money and work was done in the post and pre-production. But during the actual live production, it fell flat. And I said, this is the second time they've done this, where I've said, hey, you need to do this offsite and film it because it does not translate well in person. Correct. This is the second time they've done this. Yep. And I was literally watching it and I was like, this is actually pissing me off because it feels like I'm watching somebody at my job mess up.
And you wanted to jump in and save them.
And I literally wanted to go put on my show blacks and say, we're nixing that part. We're adding this. We're calling Cardi B. Thanks. Like, I was like, this is boring. What are we doing?
Well, and I kept telling my mom, I'm like, I'm so confused by all of this. I mean, I love the theatrics and I love production quality.
Yeah.
But when you were in the arena live, what are you watching? Were they watching screens?
Yes.
There was so much going on. And then the other thing, my mom goes, oh my gosh, they've got so many empty seats. I'm like, no, Mom, that's the athletes that will be coming in and sitting there. But
I was with your mom on that for a second too, though. Yeah.
Well, it didn't look good though, right? It was
it didn't.
Why are they there? Okay, if you didn't watch it, which some of you said that you didn't, it took place at the historic Verona Arena, which is in Verona, Italy, by the way.
Loved it. Yes. Loved the arena.
I was like, this is stunning. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it did give a beautiful ancient backdrop.
It was beautiful.
Finale. I mean, I was like, okay, well, this makes sense because if you think about the beginning of the Olympics, right? It's that aspect, the Greco-Roman games.
Correct.
So it looked like we were actually in Rome, right? So it was like the Colosseum look. I thought that was stunning. And then you wanted them to pay homage to culture, Italian culture, art, opera, which is really, for those of you that don't like opera, you would have hated the closing ceremonies.
You would have hated
very operatic.
Yeah.
Some of the dance, some of the contemporary music. It was, the theme, by the way, was beauty in action.
Correct.
And I thought, I will tell you this, and I don't know who the woman was, but the African-American woman that was in the gold.
And that gold
was stunning.
I was just looking at her the entire time they were walking towards the athletes. I was like, this woman is gorgeous. And I was trying to figure out who she was.
Do we know?
Think she was just an actress or just like, someone that was a volunteer. She wasn't anyone that they called out specifically.
Okay. Because I looked at all of the different dresses and I also like, again, there was old aspects mixed in. It kind of got confusing back and forth because you were like, all right, what am I watching here?
Yeah. And then all of their uniforms or their costumes were also recycled.
Yes. So, I think I heard one time that it was like something was made from a 1970s parachute.
From a parachute. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. But it was all over the place though.
That's the problem of it. I felt like it was like ADD to the nth degree. So the characters came to life. I don't understand the one dress. Was it supposed to do with like water or ice? It looked like saran wrap.
Yeah. Okay. What did I called that? I think I said, why did coronavirus show up? I'm pretty sure I asked because I was like, why does this look this way? Now, this presentation here also fell flat because what they were trying to do, they were trying to essentially say, this is a nod to the fact that if we did not have water, we would not have the Winter Olympics.
Correct.
Here's the coronavirus outfit. So they literally, I said, okay, so if they're doing the water cycle, quote unquote, why did they start at rain and then they ended at just like a pond and then it kind of went to steam, quote unquote, and that was it. They did not complete the cycle. They didn't actually share why they were doing it. And then they just moved right into a ballet segment. Yes. And I was like, guys, I need y'all to partner with Disney to get some storytelling lessons.
There we go. That's what I was going to say. The storytelling fell flat for sure.
It was terrible. I was like, France really ate y'all up on this because France had that storytelling down pat.
Yes.
Okay?
Because when you're doing again, and if they are going to pay homage to the culture aspect of the opera, then don't leave people confused where you never want to experience it again. Because that, so they were doing like Madame Butterfly, Aida,
Yeah.
Figaro, Violetta. I loved all of that, but
Yeah.
you needed to seamlessly weave it together so we understood that we didn't sit there all feeling stupid.
Correct.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm okay with not understanding everything and saying like, oh, this is a part of a culture that I just may not be privy to, but I should understand where we are in the storyline and in the process of everything. And as somebody that's a storyteller, I knew that they fell flat.
Agreed. Now, in the opening ceremonies, my brother was like, I hated the whole thing of the woman running around lost. And I'm like, I know. I don't know why.
That didn't translate well live, though.
No.
Remember, I said they should have filmed that.
Yes. So, what did you think about the 19th century style uniforms and the raising of the flag?
The 19th century style uniform.
Yeah, like the servicemen.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because there were a couple of things that were like that had costumes of that era. So again, I was just like, this feels more like a military thing. It did not feel celebratory.
Okay.
It almost felt like a mourning. Like I was just like, yes, we're ending this part of the ceremony. But one thing that pissed me off that they did not do, they never gave a nod to the Paralympics starting. They never said this part of the journey is ending, but
this is what's beginning. Yeah.
They let their president or whoever say like, the Paralympics is coming up. And I'm like, no, baby. If you want to do this correctly, you have to include that in your storyline.
Yeah. Don't brush by it.
Yeah. Don't. And so that's why I'm like, why are we closing this and literally ending this when we have an entire group of athletes who are like, well, we're still doing stuff too, though.
There were bits of it in some of the video production. I did like, as they talk about what's coming up in 28 with LA and Kate Hudson, by the way, I loved the song.
Right.
She sounded amazing. So they showed some of it in the video, but it was not, you should have come out of it and then spoke about the beginning of it and what we can all, be excited about. Not just, oh yeah, by the way, because that's how it felt.
Yeah. Because that's not the whole point of the Olympics and the Paralympics being back to back is so you can highlight every athlete.
Yep.
And I think instead of them passing the torch as for the closing ceremony and saying, all right, this group of athletes are done. Now we have X, Y, and Z coming up. Make sure you guys are tuned in on March 6th for the opening ceremonies of the Paralympics. Instead of including that in the storyline, they just made it where it was like, okay, well, see y'all later. Yep. It's like, no.
Agreed. If I was a Paralympic athlete, I would be like, wow, they don't care about us.
Yeah, I held off I have 2 brand deals that I have to talk about. I literally told the companies, hey, I'm going to move these back to March because the Paralympics completely got disrespected. And I was like, so I want to talk about this during the Paralympics. They were like, we love it. Let's do it. So I'm like, I think that part of the story fell flat. I think there were so many parts that were live that should have been filmed. There were parts that were filmed that probably would have done better live. And it just felt like they were like, okay, call Major Lazer and see if he'll like what?
Yes. Hang on. We're going to take a quick break. That is where we'll go because suddenly it was like the screech of a record for me. I'm like, oh, okay. Suddenly this is a rage party that we all are like evidently done. Let them go party. I want to talk. Don't let me forget about talking about the uncomfortable yawn that happened. And I feel so bad for her. I don't know if you saw it or not. Well, okay. We'll talk about it in just a second. Quick break. Once again, if you're just tuning in, it's Medals and Mayhem brought to you by our dear friends at Spas and More and at JG Optimal Wellness. Thank you for all of the coverage that they were supportive of over the last 3 weeks. We have so much more to come and we'll read your comments as well for our Medals and Mayhem as we wrap up the closing ceremonies.
Needs to be more positive. Yep. The world, and I'm spreading positivity with my air fresheners. So
you and I both,
sir.
Sadly, I wasn't aware of the Monica Adams show until recently, and was I missing out?
I'm definitely going to turn this on in the mornings on our TV.
She's helping people to understand their value. She's helping women to transform their lives.
From the minute that we walked in, I felt just really comfortable and at home here.
You are always a ray of sunshine and positivity.
Thank you for what you do. I love this whole thing that you're doing.
It's good news. It's great news. It's uplifting and empowering.
But you were engaged, and I love that. So thank you so much.
Well, welcome back once again. It is Medals and Mayhem. It's our final one as we wrap up the closing ceremonies, and brought to you, as we mentioned, our presenting sponsors, Spas and More. So now that the Olympics are over and they're all beaten up, they need hot tubs, they need saunas, they need cold plunges. Spas and More, by the way, in St. Louis, Missouri, but they also have one in Overland Park, Kansas. So Angie, thank you. And thank you, Jenny, with JG Optimal Wellness. As we are now back looking at some of your comments, curling coverage seemed extensive, Julie said. All right, Rose, curling reminded me of not having a Rumba vacuum. Hubby doesn't want one. Mikyla, in that 4-hour closing ceremony, I shaved my legs, plucked my eyebrows, painted my nails, cleaned out my closet, loaded the dishwasher twice, baked cookies, delivered them to neighbors, and it was still on.
Still on and still not entertaining at all.
We want to know what you thought. I'm waiting for someone to say that they enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I didn't understand some of the closing, but you think it was well done. Okay, Stephanie. Christy said I was confused by the whole thing. Babs, just skate. I didn't need costume over the top themes. Okay. You're right, Linda. No Tom Cruise passing of the torch. That's for sure. No. I was waiting to see somebody really, really big. Okay, we'll get into the whole the transition of, we're watching all of this and we're seeing this wonderful tribute to culture, dance, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm like, where did the party start? Major Lazer. So
I was like, is Major Lazer Italian? I was literally so confused. I said, who greenlit this? But you know what? Italy does have a very huge like rave culture.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, it could be because, you know, they want to like do a nod to EDM and rave culture and all the stuff that they have there. So I got that. They did not, again, the storytelling was terrible. It was just like, okay, we're going to bring out Major Lazer. Then some random Jamaican rapper. I said, what the hell is going on?
I was like, I don't know who. My thing is, it was great for all the athletes, but we should wrap up the coverage and then let them party.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Also, the commentators said nothing.
No, okay. I was like, Mikyla and I said this during the opening ceremonies and during a lot of the coverage, during curling. I literally said to my mom last night, why aren't they talking and explaining, or where's the lower thirds to tell us who the heck these people are? I
said, what? I know that y'all have a budget, so use it. I almost sent Zach to Italy. Zach, go tell them to put the lower thirds up.
Yes. Okay, for those of you that don't understand what a lower third is, it is literally us having a title, a name, so we understand who this is. I kept looking for it, and I'm like, the producers are sleeping. They fell asleep during this. They have not doing their coverage.
Imagine Monica just bringing me on here and being like, all right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get started, and not introducing me at all, not telling her audience, hey, this is what her background is. This is why she's here. You just see a black girl coming on your screen when you're used to seeing Monica, and you're like, what is happening here? What is going? That is what it felt like. I was like, there is no type of introduction to culture. There was none of that. And I was just like, wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And I know Live Nation is not an Italian company, but my God, I was about to call some people and say, y'all need to go there immediately. Something's happening.
Well, hopefully, by the way, if you don't know, well, we talked about 28 is LA, but 2030 is France, the French Alps. I want to go so bad. I've never been to France, first of all. And I was like, maybe this is it. And I've also on my bucket list want to attend the Olympics. Yes. So we need to, by the way, get in touch with NBC now and tell them they need us and they need Zach to come along because he will drop in the lower thirds.
Oh, be clear. After the Paralympics ends and I send NBC and the Olympics all my covering and say, this is, the things that I did. This is how analytics were. I'm absolutely saying. And so for 2028 and 2030, how can we be a part of this? Because Monica and I did better coverage
absolutely
of your sports than some of your commentators did.
Well, absolutely, because we actually broke it down and made it, I don't want to say dumb it down, but sometimes it is, right? Yes.
We made it relatable. We made it so that people could understand it.
Which is what you want. Kenetta said, I feel bad because I turned it off to watch Carol and Tuesday.
Listen.
Desi, loved the curling, watched for the first time. Still don't know what the teams are shouting, but it was interrupted on the BBC to arrest Andrew. Oh, okay. Julie said, I don't know anyone. I don't know who it is. Zach, you do a great job. Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Did you keep watching once the coverage wrapped up and they went into the best of? Did you watch Snoop's favorites?
So no, I did not. Oh. I turned it off right after they showed the LA 2028
the repeated song.
Not coverage, but the commercial that they did.
Yeah.
Which I thought had better storytelling.
Agreed.
Than the entire closing ceremony.
Agreed.
This was a fantastic commercial. So first of all, there was diversity of shot, which is something that a lot of people do not do well when they're doing sports coverage. Mm-hmm. It's always the same type of shot. Diversity of shot, diversity of athlete, diversity of ability. I saw several Paralympic athletes in the commercial.
Yes. But the only time that anything of a tribute was paid to them was in the commercial. No verbal, no handoff. Yes, we're handing off for the Summer Olympics. And we're handing off to France. But what about what is taking place in just a matter of a week?
It was infuriating.
I agree. And anyone that, again, we'd love for you to weigh in on that. If you know anybody that is a Paralympic athlete or period, just in that realm, did you feel shunned? I would think.
I'm going to find them. Yes. I literally was like, okay, today is my day that I need to start to prep for the Paralympics. I'm going to find everybody. I'm going to go ask Aaron White and them because we follow each other now. Who do y'all follow? Because that's who I need to follow as well. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And so I'm like, the fact that the United States commercial is already like making sure that the Paralympics is included in that. I'm like, you know what? So it was discussed.
Yeah.
And it was just missed for Italy. But
again, and that's what we think you really went wrong. I mean, there's a handful of things that were just confusing to us, and maybe it's just us, but this is where you definitely missed. As far as who you're following, I think my favorite is, I don't want to butcher his name. Is it Johannes Klæbo?
I have not.
That is the cross country skiing guy that was with Norway, and he was one of the athletes that carried the flag in. He has 11 career gold medals, but he had 6 in the Winter Olympics. He won gold in all 6 men's cross country skiing events, including the 50-kilometer marathon. He is the winningest Olympic athlete for winter.
Me and my husband watched this man do this, and we both said, this is a flex. Because 1, those things are heavy.
Yes.
Number 1, they're extremely heavy. So my husband was like, oh my goodness, he's just holding it like it's nothing. He was like, also winning 6 in the same is crazy. I'm like, yeah, I don't know that we would have been able to do that. He's like, Michael Phelps did it. So we looked it up.
Yes.
And Michael Phelps won, I think it was 8 in the Summer Olympics one year. And I could not believe that someone could win 8 gold medals in one sitting like that. That is actually nuts. But again, when you are low-key from Atlantis, I'm telling you, Katie Ledecky and Michael Phelps are not human. I was like, y'all are nuts. When I was watching their footage, I'm like, no, these people are from Atlantis.
Absolutely. Well, and this guy, by the way, I was watching, if you follow him, and you should, by the way.
Okay.
They are talking about a documentary that's coming out, and so many people have said, please make this something that is not just in your country, but is something we are so now invested in him and how incredible he is. They call him the king now. I kept hearing that. I'm like, oh, is he actually royalty? And they're like, well, he's royalty in his sport.
You know, there he is.
King Clabo. I don't want to butcher his name, but it's Klaebo. Clabo.
Okay.
They were saying it so fast that I'm like, okay, are we saying this correctly? The funny thing is, I see him right away, and I was like, oh, that is a very attractive kid. I want to fix him up with someone if he's not involved. He is. He got engaged last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I literally, so I did not see the additional coverage of him. I did see that moment. I did not see Snoop Dogg in his favorite moment, so I did not stay that long to see everything. But what did Snoop say? What was his?
Well, he had several, but he started off with the dog that crossed the finish line. Did you all see that? It was a wolf dog, right?
Yes.
And then him ending it with grazie, grazie, grazie.
Again, no, not a single pinch of sense. Again, send us there.
He said that it was by far the most incredible experience he's ever had in his life. And while he's looking forward to doing the coverage in 2028 in LA, he brought it back to the Winter Olympics and said, I'm serious when I tell you this. I've never experienced anything like it in my life.
It was phenomenal. And I think overall, the Winter Olympics, the 2026 Winter Olympics is going to go down in history as one of the most covered, most decorated, most viewed. Like it was one of the games that everyone was watching.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many upsets. There were so many things that happened that were discussion worthy. And at the end of the day, the athletes just performed very well as athletes, but also as people. They really took care of each other.
Yes.
And you saw that happen a couple of times across finish lines, people helping each other on the finish line, people being there for each other when they, had grandparents passing. All this was going on.
Yep.
And I think we don't see that a lot often in the Summer Olympics just because it's a little bit more heated. And this, the athletes were fantastic. The sports are more dangerous, but they were very, humble in the way that they handled things.
They were the class across the board. Obviously, in hockey, you're used to seeing it gets a little chippy, and there's they're scrumbling. They're in the little bit of fight here and there. But all in all, I was so impressed with the way they all treated each other. And 2,900 athletes, Mikyla, 92 delegations, biggest Winter Olympics ever. I love this also. So again, there are parts of the closing ceremonies that I loved, and I got chills here and there, but the faster, higher, stronger, and then together. Which was added in Tokyo.
Exactly. So Tokyo, and by the way, friends, Tokyo was in 2021.
Yep.
So that was the first actual Olympics after the pandemic. And so, the together that was added was beautiful. Again, the set design, I loved. I thought that the arena and the set design was beautiful.
Yes.
It just did not, the show did not translate well. But I loved everything else about it, the way it looked.
Did you like the Venetian glass vessel that the Olympic flame was in?
Okay. So I was literally like, my grandma has that.
I was like, I've been to somebody's house that has it as a lamp.
Literally, I've seen this before. So I also love that. And I did see, how she was holding it or whatever, and that it was like coveted. But I also think that the way that they put out the flame, and Monica, this could be just me. When they put the flame out, didn't it also just kind of feel like,
it just ended?
Like, what?
Well, I know. So, by the way, a lot of people thought that these were fireworks. It is not. That's banned. This was all a light show.
Yeah.
But yes, I was like, oh, I can't wait for this. And there's going to be the history aspect of it all. And we're going to have athletes that are from, forever ago. And this is going to be, I kept waiting for we're going to go to a commercial. And now this is where we're going to get into the next part. It's going to last for a while. They brought it out. They extinguished it. It was and then it went dark. And then it said, we're not over. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's not over. Okay. And then it came back, and then it was this big party.
And then Major Lazer came out.
Yep.
And you were like, okay. Then they had a couple of speeches from, the board of the Olympics and everything, that was cool. But it's like, hey, y'all need to do that off camera. We don't care about that. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, I wanted all the athletes to go and party together, but we didn't need to see it. We weren't a part of it. It didn't make any sense.
This part of it.
No.
We just didn't. And so, it feels like the part of the Super Bowl where it's like some things are aired and some things aren't.
Correct.
And that's for a reason. It's so they don't lose viewership, right? So
Okay, well, I forgot. So you talked about the speeches. So the speeches were going on, and then they panned to the athletes. I think it was Alyssa Liu. Did you see them pan to an athlete where she was yawning?
No, but she is
And
my
I don't mean a little
favorite.
yawn. It was a big yawn, and they stayed on her. And I'm like, come on, you guys. Whoever's in the production booth, get off of her really quick, because now she's immortalized in the yawn.
I actually love her down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because she is one of those figure skaters that completely ignores the stereotype of figure skating. She's like, no, you know how Tanya Harding was in the beginning, where she was very rough, but kind of like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Alyssa is like the non-problematic version of Tanya Harding. When she finished that program and said, that's what the F I'm talking about, I said, you're my people. Yeah, this is what I want to hear.
Okay, there. See, Joe, you saw it, right? Yes, she yawned.
Yeah,
it spoke volumes to what we were all feeling. She was like, I'm done with this.
Like, girl, I just want a gold medal, and this is what y'all do?
Well, and think about this. They're so exhausted because any athlete knows, especially those that were involved in the cross country. We're talking 31 miles. You do not want to stay up late and party well into the night. You're tired, so tired and so void of fuel that you're sitting there for however long they were there, because they had to get into the stadium in the first place. However long they were there, they're so done with that. And then they start to go into the speeches.
The security protocol of them getting from one place to another is grueling.
Yes.
Then you have to be in there with all these clothes on, because it's also just cold outside.
Okay, we didn't. Oh, well, clothes. We did not talk. What do you think the best outfit was? And they said it in the coverage. They gave it to one particular country for both the opening and the closing.
I really think it's between Australia and Haiti still.
Okay. And I agree. We liked that in the opening. They gave it to Mongolia.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about my friends. You're absolutely right. Yep. It's Mongolia. 100%. Yes.
So let us know. And by the way, if you're wondering who brought the flag in for the U.S., it was Evan Bates from figure skating and Hillary Knight from hockey.
Yep.
I'm so happy that they were able to do that.
Yeah. I thought they were definitely struggling with that flag for a second.
So again, and we didn't talk about the pianist, who I thought was stunning. I think it's Gloria Campanare. Stunning, unbelievable pianist. That part I did really, truly love. But
yes,
I do think when the lights went out, I mean, again, when we think about storytelling and it was extinguished, I did think that was kind of ethereal, the temporary blackout. That part of the storytelling, I think, hit with me, but it's just where they went and they didn't stay with it. So the story was, here, deal with it. This is the line. This is the end of the story. Oh, no, it's not the end of the story. Now we're going to start dancing.
Yes. Okay, so here's the other thing that we forgot to mention. The Will Ferrell-esque, Steve Carell-esque Joker character that they have as like their mascot who lives under the stage and like comes up to like mess with stuff. What they were trying to do was what France, again, I just have to keep going back to Paris 2024.
Okay.
Because she's that girl. That is by far one of the best productions we've received. So they were trying to be like the character that France had, where it was this like masked character that was kind of like traveling throughout the Olympics. And then at the end, it ended up being a woman who started the torch. Like she was actually a part of the ceremony, right?
Okay, yep.
And so you were trying to figure out during the opening ceremony in 2024, who is this person? And why do they keep breaking into the Notre Dame and all this stuff? Like all these things were going on. I understood that storyline. And then they brought it back, right? They were like, she actually was helping with the torch. This Joker character who just seemed to be pissing off the athletes as he was going through the flag ceremony and messing with people in the audience and going up to the stage and messing with the candelabras. I still don't know what his purpose was because yet again, they failed on storytelling.
Yes,
we still don't know what he was doing.
No, and this is where the commentary needed to come into play. This is the part where they started to extinguish, which I did think was pretty, and they started bringing back the characters that started the closing ceremonies in the first place. Yep. I thought that bringing them back was good, and again, I'd love to see the gold dress again. I was like, oh, good, we get another glimpse of that. But what was his name? Mikyla?
I didn't pay attention because the damn commentators wouldn't tell me.
I thought I heard it briefly, and I'm like, okay, I got to research who is this. And then the part of the opera, again, this was all filmed somewhere else, and we're like, where's that taking place? And who is that, by the way? Who are they bringing in? And then she's sitting down and she's listening to the orchestra. And again, some of you might go, oh, well, you should have known. No, you don't. Because you never want to be made to feel like, I don't know who that is. It's kind of like, and I did know different aspects of the contemporary music, but as people get older and then suddenly they're like, oh, our kids, our teenagers and whatever, they know music we don't know. Good, then introduce us. It might be something we love. Yes. Yeah. Don't make us feel.
They did share who the actress was who went and sat in the audience with the pink on. They shared her name. The commentators did. But other than that, they didn't really say like she's known for this and this and this. I'm like, France did a really good job of being like, this is this rock band. This is what they're known for. This is how they're connected to Paris. Moving on. Like, it felt like they were like, if you don't know, you don't need to know.
Exactly. But and I don't appreciate that though. Because you sit there at home going, and how many of you turned it off or didn't even have it on at all because of that reason? Yeah. I was very upset with the commentators. They did not do their job. No. I almost felt like, did you lose all your notes and then you just want to sit there and stay quiet and just watch? Because you shouldn't get paid for just watching.
It felt like they were like, this is confusing, so we're just gonna do the bare minimum.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So hold on. Let's go back to comments. Yes. Julie, I looked it up. Yes, the hockey will be in Nice, France. I know. Let's go. And that just sounds amazing to me. So if you don't know, again, France is where the Winter Olympics will be in 2030. And then they did also announce it will be Utah for 2034.
Yes, I saw that.
So start planning. I want to go too. I just missed the Summer Olympics in Paris, arrived there a couple weeks after it was over. Wow. I liked a lot of the commercials. Okay, Kristen, she was there for the commercials like the Super Bowl. Canada, NBC Olympics and Paralympics need to get on this now. Medals and Mayhem on location in the French Alps. I'm claiming it for you all. Okay, manifestation at its best. I like it.
There it is.
Yes, King Klebo, I think it is. Insane. He was incredible. I need to see the documentary as soon as it's out. I agree. I just hope it's coming to the States. Yes. Good morning, Tony. Linda, I know someone who's been training in men's weightlifting for the Special Olympics. Haven't kept up with him, but I will find out if he's still going. I've known him since he was born. Yes, please honor. All right, Rose said, honestly, I'm amazed on the talent of the Olympics. I got lost watching the twists and turns and the music choices. Loved it. Alyssa Lou's skate after I was pretend skating in the living room, fell over my ottoman. Loved her energy and attitude. You guys, we have to agree that no matter what was going on in the world, in any country, we all came together in unity. Yes, the respect for one another. Loved Sergio Mattarelli's opening speech. Monica, are you making fun of my Italian people? No, I am not. Ginny, good morning. Let's see. Exactly. Men's freestyling was crazy to watch. It was nice to see everyone come together. I geeked out when they were talking about the whole thing happening in Verona. I was sad the storytelling didn't really storytell like a Shakespearean play could have. Amen, Canetta.
There it is.
Okay, Rose said, I've contacted the Olympic board and suggested you two for 2030.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rose. We'll give you some permission. Let's see. Desi, closing ceremonies seem to be more concert-like. Opening were better. Okay. Canetta, some folks have been on Alyssa because she is who she is. She probably thinks it's hilarious that they caught her on camera being bored at a boring show. Yeah, it was fitting. Was he supposed to be there or just some random person?
The Joker. Like
exactly.
He was definitely written in, but not well.
Random person took me out.
Again, I try not to
be a Debbie Downer.
Criticize things that I don't understand.
Right.
I try to make sure that I'm giving grace to companies that are just trying to do their jobs because I understand how hard things are to get things across the board.
Yep.
However, you have however long it takes for you to put this production together, you have additional years because we already know where the Olympics will be 4 years out.
Yes, they had so much planning.
You just have to throw together.
Yep. There was so much planning that I think fell flat. I will say I appreciated, I think it was Puccini. They honored the athletes that passed away. I thought that was beautiful.
I did like the memorandum or whatever that they did. I can't remember what the name of it was, but yes, I did like that.
Well, and then also, and this is where the commentary evidently started. The Faces of Italy, by the way, that was not necessarily anybody that was like a celebrity.
No.
They just, and that's what they
Random
said.
people.
This is when the commentators were actually working. They actually told us these are just people that have made an impact in Italy. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because otherwise I literally would have been like, don't know any of them.
Literally. Like, oh, they just picked random people in the crowd and put them on the floor. Yeah.
All right, we are not trying. Okay, I do want to say this. Did you know there were 18,000 volunteers, and it's very competitive? And I'm like, oh, if they're not going to hire me and Mikyla, I want to apply for this. 100,000 people applied, and 18,000 were picked to volunteer for this.
I did see that. And what I will say to that is that what is for me always comes to me. I'm not applying to anything. How about that? I already know the Lord is going to be like, here, baby,
we'll provide.
You got it. But in serious, like all seriousness, you have to do that for the Olympics. You can't have random looky-loos taking care of our world's athletes. No. Yes. You got to be a little bit more strict than you would be for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. So I agree.
All right. So overall, we just think it fell flat. I was expecting so much for Italy and Milan at that. I mean, again, I am a huge person involved in fashion. I couldn't wait for the fashion, and it fell flat for me. I'm just like, first of all, I think your coronavirus thing is the best thing you said in our entire Medals and Mayhem. I'm like, that's what it is. All right, so you agreed, right? So from a fashion, there it is.
It's just so ugly.
From a fashion standpoint, come on, Milan. You had the world watching, and that is what you delivered in fashion.
Like, Zach, that fell one more time for me, Zach. Thank you so much. This picture, does it not look like they ran a jellyfish through a dishwasher?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand what is this?
Okay, look, I did this for you because I knew we'd be talking about it. Here's, look at the bottom of my sleeves. It's just like it.
It literally. And you see how you're wearing that and you're not on a global stage.
I kept looking, going, what is coming off of her hands? What is all of the layers?
And it was not explained like, oh, this is all the recycled plastic from a specific river or ocean, and that's why we're putting. Like, I'm just like, guys, we are not in the culture to understand what is going on.
No, but Johnny got all excited and said, oh, there she is. And I'm like, there's who?
Who is she?
This is who he was waiting for. And he's like, oh, the water lady or whatever. And I'm like, what? Okay, wait. The entire closing was mid. And I've been to a few in person. Oh, Kenny. Wow. Really? You've been to the Olympics? Lucy looked better in the potato sack. You guys are crazy.
And again, we're in Milan. Like you said, Monica, everything should have been a look. The Black woman in the gold.
Yes. That
is one of the most stunning pieces that we saw outside of in the opening ceremony. There were a few where I was like, oh, this is gorgeous.
Yeah. So anything that we feel missed in the opening, they had time to tweak. I thought for sure they were going to come out and that we were going to be blown away in the closing ceremony. I thought for sure a ton of fashion was going to be featured. And I know people are probably like, wait a minute, they had the Giorgio Armani suits in the opening. Okay, that's fine. And they had some pretty things here and there. Again, whoever dressed Charlize Theron, that was a stunning dress.
That was pretty, yeah.
Yes. But the closing ceremonies, our final thoughts that we have to wrap up everything we've just seen over the last 3 weeks. And that's what we would delivered. I don't know. Johnny said she stole his look. Oh yeah, I heard that too.
You did say that.
I did hear that. I bet they are drinking mimosas. We are not drinking mimosas. This is just the energy that we have.
This is us in raw form, honey.
Okay, look. And so that's where we'll end this. What would you like to see Mikyla and I do together now? I know you don't want this to be the end. So she and I will be talking. We definitely want this to continue. I want either me to go to her or her to come here because I want to be in person also. Right. And then we'll somehow compete against each other in curling.
I'm telling y'all, if we can get a curling team to put us on that ice,
yes,
I'm going to hire a production company for that.
Okay, well, here's what we need. I need you to talk to your people in your area, and then I'll talk to our people here because we do mobile Monicas anywhere. So we need to take the show on the road and then do maybe like we went to Fredericksburg, Texas, and did 11 shows over 3 days. So we can do something very similar. Tell everybody, by the way, that's tuning in late where you're from.
Oh, yes. So I am originally born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I currently live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I've been here since 2010 after graduating from Howard University. So I have been, an East Coast and Midwest girly my entire life, but I have Southern roots in Louisiana and Tennessee.
Is it Louisiana then?
Okay, so I say Louisiana because I kind of just like run it together. But a lot of people say Louisiana. The only thing that I will not accept is New Orleans.
Yeah, right.
I won't accept New Orleans. It's New Orleans.
It's New Orleans.
It's New Orleans. So yes, and then Monica, for my crew, where are you from?
So born and raised in St. Louis. The only time that I was away from St. Louis proper was when I went to Missouri Valley and Mizzou, which is in Columbia, Missouri, but came back home. I had a very serious blood clot that brought me back to St. Louis and was monitored for 2 years. Was not ever expecting to go into broadcasting. I was actually studying sports medicine and wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, but the good Lord above said, I want you to speak. And so I followed that path, and I have been in television and radio for over 30 years.
Yeah. Monica is the real Monica Adams on all 7 of her platforms. So make sure you guys are following her. She is fantastic. So guys, just in case you don't know how this all started, her assistant reached out to me or told Monica about me, and Monica reached out, and that is literally how Medals and Mayhem was born. So I personally think we should keep the and Mayhem part, Monica.
Okay.
And just switch to maybe it's Broadway and Mayhem.
Which I would love, because you and I are both very big. And so I do a lot of work here with the Fabulous Fox Theater and with the Municipal Opera. We just did some stuff with the St. Louis Ballet.
Yes.
Mikyla loves the same thing. She's doing some stuff with the Washington Ballet
here.
So it's crazy because, and again, there was a promo that ran earlier in the very end, because you've never met Michelle. The very end of that promo of us toasting the wine glasses together, that was Michelle. By the way.
Michelle? Okay.
Yes. So shout out to Michelle Harmon. Thank you, Michelle, she just loves to kind of go through social media, and she'll send me stuff and say, here, what do you think of this one?
Yeah.
But this particular one, she sent me Mikyla from doing Summer Olympics. And she's like, Monica, you and her should do something during the Olympics. She didn't say what. I just ran with that and went, yeah, I wasn't planning on doing coverage like full blown, but let's see what we think. You're welcome, Stephanie. Yes. We need M&M's as a sponsor, by the way. This is just a no-brainer.
Yes, I'm going to call
DMV area. Yes. I did ask Mikyla at the beginning, we were off air, how much snow you're getting. And is it snowing right now where you are?
Yeah, so so. So it is, we're going to get probably about 6 inches because it's just going.
Okay, but not feet like we're talking about in New York.
No, we're not getting New York weather, thank goodness, because we just had a terrible storm here as well.
Right.
So we're getting, I'm going to have to dig my car out again for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be thinking of you and thinking about all again. If you've got family, please check on them, because this is some serious snow that's coming their way, especially again, New York. Well, yeah, the athletes, by the way, had to fly into Miami.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Boo, you got to fly to Miami and be there for 2 days. Shut up. We don't care.
Stephanie, she is. You're right. Michelle is awesome. Rose, thank you. She's a great show. If I missed any comments, we'll be sure to go back and see those. All right, my friend. Yes. Thank you so much for all the coverage. We have had a blast together for sure.
We have had quite a time, and we will figure out what our next Mayhem series will be. So friends, make sure you guys are following The Real Monica Adams. She goes live almost daily during the week. And so she has 7 platforms that she's on. Please make sure you guys go and follow her. And we will figure out something that we can do for our Mayhem series, continuing this throughout the year.
I would love that. And again, thank you to all that follow Mikyla that have joined us. And we would love to see you. And then I want all of my wonderful viewers that call themselves Monica's Maniacs to follow Mikyla. And you can do so again on TikTok and Instagram, as well as YouTube and Facebook. Make that magic. We are snowed in again in the DMV. Kenny, I'm so sorry. Definitely great times with Mayhem shows. Well, again, so glad I got to share that with you all. Yes. Thank you, Kanetta. Yes. Well, we have had a blast, and this will not be the end. Love you as well, Christy. We did have a wonderful time. My friend, thank you so much. I will let all of you know we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to do our devotional, because we like to bring faith in near the end. And we've got some mobile Monicas we want to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And to you, have a beautiful, wonderful day, Mikyla.
You too. All right, guys, stay safe out there.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. No commute, no appointments, just warmth, relief whenever you need it. Sore muscles recover faster, tight joints loosen up, tension you carry all day, gone. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
Well, welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. And to all of you that follow Mikyla, thank you so much for being a part of our Medals and Mayhem. And we do hope to see your names pop up. We are on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central Time, so 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you are brand new to the show, we hope to see you again very soon. We love to bring faith in. So it has really taken over the world. And we have devotionals that have been given to us by a ton of viewers, either the Jesus Calling or this particular one I'm going to read from is Jesus Listens. When we're on set, which is normally Mondays and Tuesdays, we read from Stephen Arterburn's books, which are 100 Days to Freedom books. Love those. And it's always really fitting of things that we're talking about and how whatever we read from the devotional really seems to fit what we were doing for that day. So let's see what God has chosen for us on this February 23rd. And then I'm going to tell you about some exciting things coming up. We've got our mobile Monicas that if you check the realmonicaadams.com calendar of events, we are going to be putting them all in there today. We've been looking at the timing of some of these. So we're going to be next week doing a really cool business spotlight. By the way, did you all see the one we did on the Excel Center? Zach worked so hard on that. The Excel Center affiliated with MERS Goodwill. If you don't know, they are getting so many people, thousands of people, their high school diplomas, people that felt like they were high school dropouts or that they never thought that they were ever going to amount to something. Such a beautiful piece. Did you all see that when I was in Napa? I hope you watched it. If not, please, that's the beauty of streaming. Go back to last week, Thursday, and watch that show, either on my Facebook page or on my YouTube page. We had a wonderful Foodie Friday that we re-aired with Jack Mack, and it was because you guys were all experiencing beautiful weather while we were really cold in Napa. We put you in the barbecue season with Jack Mack McMurray. So hopefully you had a chance to see that. We've got another cool business spotlight coming up for you next week. And we actually are going to bring Dr. John Arshadi in to tell his backstory first. We were going to do that today, but he had to change things around just a little bit. So he will be on with us next Monday. We'll be talking with him, and then we will be going and doing a spotlight on Divine Longevity and Wellness, which is located in the Four Seasons Shopping Center in Chesterfield. All right. So if you have not heard of him, bringing hyper-personalization to the St. Louis area. This is a view for you. They are best known right now for hormone replacement therapy as well as weight loss, which is two of the biggest things that's truly actually taken over our world right now. So if you are needing that, you've been looking for someone maybe even to switch to, Dr. John Arshadi can take care of you. I can't wait for this. So red light therapy is all the rage, right? But how about red light therapy while you're riding a bike? And for those that have always wanted to know really truly what's going on in their body, this is an opportunity for you to do full body scan and break down everything that's going on in the body and how he can help you. So Dr. John Arshadi, we are looking forward to having you on with us next week. And then our mobile Monica that is on tap for March is going to be at Mary Tuttle's and Amelia's, The Art of Living, Designed with Intention. We're talking about some of the most gorgeous fresh flowers. The design of them are amazing. Have you ever been there, by the way? Mary Tuttle, 17021 Baxter Road in Chesterfield, Missouri. When you walk in, it's so beautiful, really, honestly, from the outside, and then you go inside. And I'm going to have to take some new footage because this was all right around the time of Valentine's Day. So obviously they've switched a lot of that out. They just came back from market and they are ready as we transition into spring and summer. some of the most beautiful gifts. So when you are looking for maybe birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, or my favorite is the just because gifts. Remember Mary Tuttle. So I'll be putting that on the calendar. We're going to be there on March 25th. And I just have to make sure with her because she was kind of kicking around the time, possibly 9:30. I'm going to ask her to get that verified today, but it's definitely the 25th. So put that on the calendar for a save the date. All right. Are you ready? A little Jesus Listens, February 23rd. My guiding God, help me to willingly follow your lead, opening myself more fully to you and your way for me. I don't want to be so focused on getting my own way that I miss the things you have prepared for me. Instead, I choose to relax with you while you transform me by the renewing of my mind, working your newness into me. I need to be still in your presence, trusting you enough to let go of my expectations and my demands. Sometimes I obstruct the very things I desire by trying too hard to make them happen in my timing. Yet, you know not only the desires of my heart, but also the best way and the time to reach those goals. So I'm learning to yield to your will and your timing rather than striving to be in control. I need to spend more time seeking your face, talking with you openly, and resting in your presence. Once I'm feeling more refreshed, I can ask you to show me the way forward. And I'm encouraged by your words of promise. Quote, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. Well, that is fitting because I just told you all, and those of you that are regular viewers of Mikyla's, I just told you all that it was God guiding me to not go into sports medicine, but instead to go into broadcasting. And I have had one heck of a career, all thanks to him. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, by the way, we got a couple of dogs that are going to be in studio. Well, we stayed home today because obviously Mikyla was joining us virtually. So tomorrow we will be back in studio with Stray Paws. And there's a gala coming up that I'm honored to be the auctioneer for. But Stray Paws, this is their very first gala. Wait till you hear about the work that they've done just since January alone and what they're needing from us as a community to be able to keep bringing in those dogs and taking care of them. So Stray Paws on tap for us tomorrow. Looking forward to that. From now till then, I hope you have a beautiful day here in our area. Stay warm. It's going to be cold for those that are in the Northeast. Please check in on them. If you are from the Northeast and you are watching us today, again, our thoughts and prayers going out to you as you are getting ready to get pummeled with an incredible amount of snow. We are thinking of you. And again, always coming out. There's always, right, that bright light at the end of this crazy dark tunnel. It's going to seem like you can't get out for days because of the amount of feet of snow that's coming your way. But the better days are ahead, right? We've got cold weather here. Again, 211 for the shelter aspect. So there's a cold blue in St. Louis through Tuesday. So 211 is what you can always find out for open shelters. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Again, the greatest thing you can do is get out of your own way. See when somebody else needs help because that is kindness. Be kind. God bless. I'll see you in the morning.